welcome back. This is Adventures with Dr. Joe. Somewhere over here I'm going to put a subscribe button. Please click subscribe and like. It helps the channel so much. Comments are very welcome. Today we're going to take this Corona pruner and tune it up. These are very nice pruners, well made, but when you use them for quite a while they start to become a little more difficult to cut. Why is that? Two reasons. One, the blades may become slightly separated, and if that occurs you may be getting a twig or a vine or a branch in between those. That's no good. And then the blade gets dull. This has two blades. It has more of an anvil and a blade. We can take this apart, sharpen the blade, tune up the anvil, and then properly tighten it to bring both those, the blade and the anvil, perfectly together, so this will cut like it was brand new. Let's take a look. The first thing you want to do is clean this all up, get the dirt off it, get any grime off it, and then we're going to take it apart. This has a 10mm nut. It's a nylon nut that holds the two blades together. I'm going to take that off. There's also this coil spring, which we're going to take off, and we're going to lubricate that when we're done. And then there's a very small nut right here, which we're going to take out to finish this disassembly, because this captured bolt comes out right here, and it basically has a square base on it which fits into the jaw. So to take this off, it requires a 2mm Allen wrench, which I've got. And it basically threads into this capture piece. It's a little bit hard. There it goes. That's been peened to prevent backing it out. Well, we need to back it out to fix it, to tune it up. So there's that screw, our blade. So these blades are very nice, and you can see I've sharpened this previously. We want this to be absolutely flat, and then we want to have a nice hone on the edge here, and we're going to then buff it to make it even finer. So we're going to get a diamond stone here. So this is a trend diamond plate. We'll put a little of this lapping fluid on it. Now we'll take our blade, just run it along the stone. And we'll take a look at our progress. And you can see it's shining it up pretty nicely. The black that you start to see on these stones when you're sharpening, when you're doing this, is basically just the metal that's coming off the blade, which is what we want. And what we want to see is a fine polish all on this edge. We don't care about much else. Matter of fact, I don't care at all about the middle. But right along the edge I want to be sure that it's got a nice uniform scratch pattern, and you can kind of feel the blade, and if it's got a burr, you know, you've been doing a good job, and it already does. And I'm going to spend just a few more seconds flattening this up. This is a 1000 grit, and you can certainly go up higher grits, but this is a pruner. We're not talking a precision fantail chisel for dovetails or something like that. Anyway, we got most of it except just a teeny spot here, and I'm going to do a little bit more and put a little more pressure on that area. That's all it takes. Now that it's flat, be sure you clean this up. You don't want to have dirt, grime, oil, things like that that's going to get into your stone. Looks pretty good. And then I feel here, I can already feel that burr. Okay, the next step here, this is the safety latch. We're going to push this forward. It'll just come right out. Save that. Clean this up a little bit. You can see I took this to the wire brush to make it nice and smooth. Then we're going to disconnect this lever. To take this out we needed a very small wrench. I didn't have one the right size with my nut driver, so I had to use a very small adjustable wrench. And I got it. that apart. And now we've got the anvil portion, and we can flatten that also. So I'll put a little of this lapping fluid on here. And again, this is the inside, the face that touches the other blade. That's the side we want to make flat. So I have it here, registered. And you can, oh, it's nice. And you can start to see we're really making a nice scratch pattern on this anvil. We'll bring it all the way to the edge. Virtually have it just a touch more, and then this will be done. There is a small burr on here. We'll just take that out with a hand file. Look out for that burr. Just using a fine. That did it. Fine diamond hand burr. So this anvil part is ready to go. So now we just got to finish. We've already flattened the blade. Now we need to just grind this front edge, which we're going to do now. While we're at it, we'll put the safety connection back. Okay. I'll put this other nut back. This is that very small nut. There we go. Let's be tighten it with this small adjustable wrench. There are many ways to sharpen this blade. You could take it to a grinder, but you're going to take a lot of material off. I prefer just a hand file. These are diamond files, fine and super fine. And I'm just going to get the right angle. I feel that I raise the burr, not yet. You could also use the coarse, but I don't think I think we're just filing such a small edge. Oh yeah. So you can see the honed part and not the tip. Now I'm going to get the tip. Full edge sharpen. And then I feel, and there's a small burr there. And we're going to go back to the diamond plate. Now that I've got a small burr, take the burr off. Hone that again. And that's sharp. So put it back together. Okay, this is sharp now, but now we'll use the super fine to even make it just a little bit finer. Okay, back to flattening it. You always start by pulling it backwards, pull the burr off. I want to be sure there's not a burr on this side. There's not. Okay, that blade is sharp. Okay, let's put a drop of oil on this coil spring. Not too much. That'll just really help it, and we can reinstall that. This little screw that I put back on, this little nut, probably a teeny bit too tight. Oh yeah. All this is tweaked by manual adjustment. So, okay, we put the blade on. The Corona badge fits there. We'll line it up to the hole. And then it's only one way. There it goes. It has to lock in. And we're going to just put our nylon nut back on moderately, not too tight yet. Because we need to get this lined up with this screw. Okay, now it's got to go through this backing plate, and that's what it threads into that. So we'll tighten it. Yeah, and again, yeah, it's tight, and then it loosens up, and it gets really tight because it's been peened. Okay, good. And that's as tight as it gets. And then we've got this nice decorative cap over the back here, dual link. Oh yeah, it's really good. Now, this is really important. We're going to tighten this nut until it doesn't move anymore, and then back it up. Okay, so now it's stuck. So that's no good. But we don't want to loosen it much. A touch more. And this is very judgmental. Even a touch more than that. I'm moving it maybe a 32nd of a turn. And it also may be that this nut is a little bit snug. I'm going to loosen that, tighten this a little bit more. Too tight. Just the smallest amount. There it goes. Okay, we've already oiled our coil spring. We'll put a touch of oil here and a little bit back here on this dual link. Not much. You can hear it. And that baby is tuned up. So, you've got a newly restored Corona pruner, probably as sharp or sharper than when you purchased it. And this can undergo many additional sharpenings and be of service for many, many, many years. These are high quality pruners. And anyway, there it is. Sharp. Again, flattened the back of the blade once we took it apart. Honed, sharpened, and then honed the edge. Flattened the anvil. Tightened it so it doesn't move, and then loosened it just enough, which keeps those blades really tight together. So hey, there you are. The Corona pruner is tuned up. It's going to be really nice to use. It's just very smooth. And this blade is going to be very, very sharp and will probably stay sharp for quite a while. Don't cut dirt with it. Hey, Adventures with Dr. Joe, please click subscribe down in this corner, and comments are very, very welcome, and likes help the channel a lot. Thank you very much.